The annual Hancock County Food Drive kicked off at the beginning of this month.
It's the 13th year local organizations and businesses have come together to address food insecurity. I went to Ellsworth and talked with a participating organization about the importance of continuing this tradition.
We're finding that the need is ongoing.
According to the Maine legislature, 11.4% of households in the state, or more than 153,000 people, experience food insecurity. However, efforts continue across the state to help those in need. And it's time again for Hancock County's 13th annual food drive.
The food drive is a really unique collaboration that happens in Hancock County, in which a large number of the food security organizations in the area work together to fundraise and collect food donations to address the need in our community.
20% of children in Hancock County live in a household where food insecurity is a problem. This drive will bring more resources to organizations to keep up with the need.
They're on track to serve 3 times as many people as they were before the pandemic.
And while this is a food drive, organizations are also gathering other essentials for local families.
Not just food, but toiletries and hygienic items.
Even if you have $1, that could result in 2 meals. One of the unique factors about this food drive is that members of the community can give back all month long through one of the 4 remaining events, like the Readathon or Miles for Meals. Emis says after being with Healthy Acadia for 6.5 years, her favorite part is watching the impact it makes in the community.
I know so many folks who run food pantries who really they give everything they have to that resource, and it's just, yeah, these are some of the hardest working people I've ever met.
For more information on the different events throughout the month, you can follow the link on our website.
Yeah, very worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Endeavor. Yeah, get on board.
Yeah.
See how